Welcome to Berry Life. On today's episode, we're making vegetable and tofu stir fry. It's an easy and delicious recipe to make use of your leftover vegetables. So let's dive in. We'll start by making the sauce. For that, we'll need 2 tablespoons of sriracha for a complex spicy flavor. You can also substitute it with gochujang. Next, we'll use dark soy sauce. Dark soy sauce isn't as salty as regular soy sauce, and it has a little bit of sugar, which helps with color and caramelization. Then 2 tablespoons of light soy sauce for the savoriness, and 2 tablespoons of hoisin sauce. Hoisin sauce is like a Chinese barbecue sauce. Then a tablespoon of roasted or toasted sesame seed oil, and 1 tablespoon of brown sugar to help with caramelization. Now we'll whisk it to combine and set it aside, while we prepare the rest of the ingredients. This stir-fry recipe is so versatile, you can add just about any vegetables. Today we have some beautiful red and green bell peppers. We'll only use half of each, and cut them into large pieces. The green bell peppers are actually just unripened versions of the red bell peppers. Both are packed with nutrients and antioxidants. At the Berry Kitchen, we use a lot of veggies for a variety of recipes. And a lot of times we have random vegetables left over. So these types of recipes are really useful to prevent waste. It's also therapeutic as I love chopping vegetables into different shapes and sizes. We'll remove the inner white part, which is called the pith. It's not really all that flavorful and doesn't present well. What do you call a mushroom that's in a hurry? A rushroom. Next we'll chop these mushrooms. Today we have some baby bella and shiitake. We'll wipe them with a damp towel and chop off the woody end. And we'll cut them into quarters. Typically we rinse these under running water and dry them just before cooking. We only rinse and never soak as mushrooms have a tendency to waterlog. Next, the shiitake caps. As with the baby bella, we'll wipe these with a damp cloth. And we've already removed the stems. Now we'll slice these into thin strips. When making a dish with a lot of vegetables, it's ideal to cut the vegetables into the same sizes. It helps with mixing, and it's easier to eat with. This is especially true if you're mixing the veggies with noodles or rice. However, since this is a vegetable stir fry, we can take a few liberties and stray off the beaten path. Next are these broccolini. We want to remove the leaves, and then slice them at a bias to create these nice long cuts. The broccolini stems are actually edible, unlike most large broccoli. Next we'll julienne the carrots. This may be one of my favorite vegetables to cut. You can try a lot of different cutting techniques on a carrot, similar to potatoes or onions. To julienne, first you have to make a flat surface on the carrot, so it can sit still as you cut the thin layers. Then you slice those layers into matchsticks. There's something oddly gratifying about transforming one shape into another. From my experience, cutting vegetables is one of the most underrated skills in the kitchen. And the sooner you realize that the cut impacts the flavor and texture of the final product, the sooner your dishes will improve. For this recipe, we want the large pieces of onions to match the bell peppers. We'll cut these into halves and then quarters. As the layers separate, we'll get the desired shape. With that, our mise en place is almost ready. Oh man, look at these colors, you guys. Just one last ingredient. This 5-spice flavored tofu. We picked this up at the local Asian supermarket in the tofu section. This is a pressed tofu flavored with Chinese spices. It's firm and flavorful, and it will add a nice boost of protein to our dish. We'll cut it into bite-sized pieces about 1 inch wide. What did the tofu call its gym? Toe fitness. Tofu comes in so many varieties of tastes and textures, so it's really fun to experiment with. That's it, now we're ready to cook with fire. To a wok over medium heat, we'll add some oil. We're adding about 1 tablespoon, but that's a rough estimate. Then we'll add the tofu. We want to saute the tofu until it's lightly golden brown. We'll also add some salt at this point because the tofu is flavored but it's not salted. It takes a few minutes to get all the sides. This looks perfect. Now we'll remove the tofu and add a little bit more oil to the wok. Then we'll add the mushrooms and saute until they're lightly golden. This may take a few minutes depending on the amount of moisture in the mushrooms. We want to keep stirring to allow the pieces to cook evenly. These look like they're ready. Now we'll push these to the side of the wok where it's not as hot and add the onions to the middle. We want the onions to char just a little bit with the direct heat, and then we can combine them with the mushrooms. We'll saute for a minute to allow the onions to soften a little. Next we'll add the carrots and cook those for a minute. Stir frying is all about a little bit of oil and a lot of movement. The goal is to enhance the flavors of the vegetables while maintaining their original shape and texture, retaining their freshness and bite. We're keeping an eye on the heat and adjusting it as needed to cook but not burn the ingredients. Notice all the steam coming off. That's water. When you stir, the moisture that leaves the vegetable quickly turns into steam, and the vegetables aren't cooking in their own juices. That would be called braising, and that's not what we're doing today. Now with the broccolini in the wok, just look at all these beautiful colors come to life. Next we'll add our sauce, and keep stirring to allow the sauce to reduce and coat all the vegetables and the tofu. Don't let up on the stirring. We've come too far to end up with soggy vegetables. With the sauce thickened, we'll turn off the heat, and it's ready to serve. If you like this recipe, click the like button and leave a comment below as a way of saying thank you. Also, remember to subscribe as we're uploading easy and delicious recipes every week. It also helps support our channel. Don't forget to click the bell icon so you're notified of new uploads right away. And as always, check out the video description below for the full recipe. Today we're enjoying our stir fry with a side of brown rice. We also enjoy it with quinoa or wild rice. With a little bit of meal prep, this recipe is easy to make for lunch or dinner on a weekday. There you have it, vegetable and tofu stir fry, a tasty answer to your leftover vegetable question. Thank you for joining us, and see you in the next episode of Berry Berry Life.